that dots the scene and is a really sad reminder, really, of what has taken place.
Yeah, you're right. And to answer Will's question from just a second ago, that truck is kind of what they're working out of. I've seen some of these investigators with cameras. A few of them have cameras, obviously to take pictures of different things in the house and in the woods. And that cooler there, they just brought a full case of water, one of those Costco full-size cases of water that they've put into that cooler. So I don't know if that's a sign that they might be here for a long period of time. They may expect to be here for a long period of time or not, but it is very hot out here, as we know, and has been very hot through all of this search. So it looks like they just replenished that cooler, as well as have been taking things in and out of that truck. Haven't been able to see everything, but I don't know if that's a sign that they're going to be here for a long time to come here tonight. But that is what I watched here as one investigator pulled up in the end. But like you said, it is a very stark contrast here. You can see the crime scene tape and you can see the memorial. So many people you can see some people that have walked behind me. Everybody's come just to see the memorial. Some people that are just getting off work to come by, maybe lay some things down. And I did see a few children actually right before we went live come and lay some stuffed animals down at this memorial, and then they left. But children laying stuffed animals at this memorial for Javeayah, as crime scene investigators are working, or investigators at the very least working right beside them. So it is a very stark contrast here as people are trying to pay their respects to this memorial for Javeayah, trying to at least see this sign that the community is coming together through this horrible tragedy. But the work continues on, and it is at this house right here.
Yeah, and a good eye noticing the bug spray, of course, indicative that they're going to be in the woods. I know you've observed, and we've seen it too with live pictures, some of those officers, those Aiken County deputies walking in and out of the house. But what we don't see, of course, is the area behind the house, that very heavily wooded area.
If you remember from the 911 call that we just got yesterday from the mother, you remember her in that call saying that she often let the dogs out back to run around, and Javeayah actually knew that path. Again, it's unconfirmed that that story was true, of course, because that's the 911 call. We know that that was filed and it was false. But again, said that there's woods in the back behind the house. There's a path back there too. So that could be where investigators are at this point, trying to get more information too.
Yeah, and Ethan, we want to let you know, just stay where you are, continue to monitor the situation, but we do want to give a little bit of the backstory if you're just now joining us. Again, investigators with Aiken County Sheriff's Office are searching Javeayah's home. Want to give you an update on the warrants. We got these yesterday, but boy, they were filled with a lot of new information. Those warrants telling us that both parents confessed to killing her. We knew about the arrests, but we did not know the details, and the warrants kind of filled that in.
Yeah, and that came from physical abuse. That's how the injury came about. We know that was from a severe head injury too. That was on the warrants. And again, like you said, full of information. That's why it's so important to get those, because usually it reveals information that law enforcement will not give up readily.
Right, and again, so you know at home, I know so many of you have been following this closely, warrants are public records, so they were released to us. That is something that investigators by law were able to give us because they are considered public records. And something else we learned in this, her mother admitted to disposing of her body. Now think about this, her mother just gave birth during that 911 call. Again, if the timing can be believed, she said she was, 39 weeks pregnant? So even in the timeline of when they say little Javeayah was killed, there was a very pregnant woman admitting in a warrant that she was the one who disposed of the body. Yeah,
again, that was shocking information to hear when we did get those warrants. But just to fill you in again on some background, tonight marks 7 days since that 911 call triggered this entire investigation, and now this investigation has progressed back to Javeayah's family home where this 911 call started it all too, and now we know that that 911 call was fake. But again, if you guys are just now joining us, investigators with the Aiken County Sheriff's Office are back at that family's house. They are searching inside and behind the house in the woods. We've seen investigators go inside with brown bags, which are likely an indication of evidence bags.
Right, and we were just seeing that sled helicopter. Important to note as well, while this search is going on, we do know that there is a second search, another very concentrated concentrated search about 2 hours from here, right in Fairfield County, right at the Chester County line. I've been out there a bunch. I was out there all day Saturday. I was out there again yesterday. And we know that DNR is especially interested in a body of water. It's the Debutary Creek access area. It's blocked off, but we were able to observe, there we go, we were able to observe cars coming and going. So just so you know, we weren't able to get access to this, but a number of investigators are back there with drone teams. We've seen marked cars, unmarked cars. This is pretty much the scene of everyone coming and going. So what they're doing is really behind a curtain of trees. We don't know what they're doing. We just know that the intensity of the investigation has really picked up.
And you actually took a Google Street View down this road this morning and posted that on Facebook too, which gives us a good idea of where this leads to. Is actually a fork in the road, right? When you get down here.
There's a fork in the road. There's a boat ramp there, but honestly, it looks a lot like this does. It's heavily wooded. It's a gravel road, and the Street View I took was from June of 2023, a little outdated, but to tell you, at least from this point, this picture looked the same as the Google Street View looked from a couple of years ago. But you go down a road, and it's a ways. So, you know, we were hearing drones when I was there Saturday, but I didn't hear them yesterday. That may have been because of the storms, but the area where the water is quite a distance. Like you look, or is it just around the corner? No. You have to go quite a ways to get to the water.
Yeah.
And that was eye-opening for me because, I mean, this was as far as I made, and rightfully so, not saying we needed access, but this was as far as we were able to go.
And this was all found out through public information. I know a lot of people were saying, well, Aiken County wanted to conceal this information. We found this through SLED's helicopter's flight path on Saturday after around noon when it took off, and we put 2 and 2 together, and then you actually ran in to some of Javeayah's family. But I know a lot of people have also been asking if the parents had confessed. That's what the warrants say. Why are they not able to locate Javeayah as quickly as they can?
Right.
And the reason is, on the warrants, it says that the physical abuse that was caused to her, the injury, was from May 1st to June 15th. So that was almost 2 months ago, right, at this time? So quite a while ago that this possibly could have happened. Again, we don't know when she passed away, but this could have been a while ago, and they don't know an exact location.
Sure, and also it could not have come out in the confession. You know, maybe that is something they withheld, and they're searching that area because phone records or other evidence they were able to find led them to that search area. So we don't know why they were there, and we don't know why they're at the home today. We just know that they are, and we just know that it is significant and it is important to update the investigation because it looks as though investigators are making some headway.
And if we still have that shot of the family's home, I want to bring that back up so people just now joining us can get another look, and we can see what investigators are also doing there at the house here this afternoon. But this is learning here today. Here's a different angle of that shot. Gives you a better idea of what investigators are doing on scene, what the layout is too as the crime scene tape is up. That's new this afternoon. Investigators have been going in and out of that house and then in the woods behind the house too.
Yeah, and again, full transparency, we were not tipped off to this, just like we weren't tipped off to the other search location. Your Ethan Hunter just was there getting video. He was talking about children laying stuffed animals and putting balloons at the memorial, and then all of a sudden investigators showed up, put up that crime scene tape, and then began their investigation again.
So still so many questions with this. Of course, we'll keep you guys updated throughout this afternoon. You can see investigators here on your screen. So I know a lot of them were putting on bug spray from what Ethan said, so they could be out here for a while, could be deep in the woods back there too. We don't know exactly what they're looking for. They had cameras as well, so looks like they're digging in their bins for other tools maybe that they're going to be using here on scene.
Yeah, and again, we have confirmed that this is with the Aiken County Sheriff's Office. We know multiple agencies, SLED, even the FBI has been involved in this, but we do know that these investigators are with the Aiken County Sheriff's Office.
And this is something we'll follow throughout this afternoon. I know we want to get off of this for a second. We'll bring it back as soon as we can. We'll toss things over to your First Alert meteorologist, Malik Bryant, for a check of your forecast. Malik.
Yes, another hot day out there across the CHR ray temperatures.
So I'm not coming back? Sounds good. Israel's here now too, so we should have some more flexibility. I don't know if you can hear me or not. I'm going to be back up in 5 minutes.
Cool.
And I'm going to have you run the shot and everything. I guess Sydney's coming. She's going to take over the lives because this is her story, I guess.
Hood.
What?
Hood.
But we've been live the whole time, so I want to talk to some of these people, but we haven't stopped. We were the entire A block just going live here. The crime scene tape wasn't here like when Sydney was here a couple hours ago, and then
You got out here and started setting it up, or was it already up?
it was up. But they were just putting bug spray on to walk back in the woods. So I think they had just put the crime scene tape up, and two of these cars. Dang, I just lost service, it looks like. Mic check 1 2 3 4. Mic check 1 2 3. Yep. Okay. What'd you say?
Yeah. Only thing I had was
So they're gonna have you do hits until Sydney gets here?
Yeah.
About to say I can work with you. They're gonna do lunch for the impasse.
Yeah.
Till she gets here.
Yeah.
of Javeayah Harris's family home. Your Ethan Hunter just happened to be in the area. The crime scene tape went up, and now an investigation has started.
And this is all new information. Ethan, what are you seeing there on scene?
Yeah, well, just like 30 seconds ago, we just saw an investigator take a shovel out of the truck that you can see behind me with the trunk open and walk back into the woods. When I got here, investigators were putting bug spray on and walking back into the woods behind Javeayah Harris's home. I now just watched them take out a shovel and walk back there. We were trying to peer through the trees. We can't get a perfect direct look at what they are doing back there, but we did see them moving some debris around. It looked like there might be some trash. I could see a couple of cans that they were tossing aside, but it does look like they have a shovel and are going through some debris back in the backyard in the woods behind Javeayah Harris's home. There's about 5 unmarked vehicles here. We did not know what they were doing when they showed up. Like you said, we came just to talk to some neighbors, see the memorial as it has been growing, and saw that the crime scene tape is back up, and investigators are here looking. The man with the shovel that walked back there, the investigator has a camera as well. We have seen them with cameras with what appears to be evidence bags and gloves walking in and out of the home and in and out of the backyard woods. Now we have seen them with a shovel as well. So going through looking at evidence is what it seems is happening here, but this is all new within the last hour.
And again, this is new because there was originally only one area that investigators were searching, and that was the area in the upstate where you were all day Saturday and yesterday.
Right, it's about 2 hours from here. To give you an idea of that, it's on the Chester County, Fairfield County line. They're searching a area with a lot of water. So interesting now that we hear deputies are picking up a shovel and heading into the woods. So it looks like they're going to be digging while we've got, 2 hours away. It's a water search, it appears to be.
Yeah, and you heard Ethan say on scene, we saw this too earlier in the show, investigators grabbing what looked like brown evidence bags and walking in and out of that home. Investigators had black gloves on too, so looks like they're making sure to contain that crime scene as well.
Yes,
or what is evidently a crime scene now.
Right, and this is where the family lived, not for very long as they moved to our area, but we are, again, learning more and more information just as we are out there watching, again, that crime scene tape go up. That has not been up until today.
Yeah, these are Aiken County investigators too, and this is something that we just stumbled upon. We were just out there trying to get video of that memorial and ended up finding the crime scene tape and investigators out there. So this is something we will continue to follow as we head into News 12 at 6 o'clock. Stick with us.
That's what Gary just texted me and he told me to tell everyone. Yeah, I doubt they're taking the mic, but just...
I do have you. Mic check, 1, 2, 3.
Yes, mic check.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Live from Augusta, breaking news.
Investigators are back out at the home of Javeayah Harris outside of Aiken here.
That's where they've set up crime scene tape and are searching the nearby woods and inside the home. Your Sydney Hood joining us live. Sydney, what have you seen out there?
A night and day scene out here in front of the house where Javeayah Harris was first reported missing. And what I mean by that, I was just out here at around 2 o'clock this afternoon looking at the memorial that has grown in the days since it started, and there wasn't a soul out here. And now, as you can see behind me, we have investigators from the Aiken County Sheriff's Office walking around the house. I'm going to step out of the way so you can get a better idea of what I'm looking at here. You can't see from where we're standing at right now, but we've seen deputies moving around in the woods, and within the last 5 minutes we saw a deputy come up here and get a shovel out of the bed of the truck that is parked on the other side of the crime scene tape from where we are standing at right now. We can't get a really a clear gauge of what exactly they're doing out there. We just see movement behind the bushes, behind this beige truck that is parked in front of the house here. We don't know what exactly they're doing out here. We did ask the Sheriff's Office if they can confirm why they're out here, and they said that this is an active investigation and they cannot release every single detail. We aren't sure how long they've been out here. Your Ethan Hunter just happened to drive up here to see how the memorial has grown, and he is the one that saw the crime scene tape up and the investigators out here. So again, just a night and day difference compared sitting quiet and still, much like the Shiloh Heights neighborhood itself, which is where this house is at. But now, as you can see, that is not the case here. We've got neighbors who are standing out here. Some of them wanted to come out and contribute to the memorial themselves, but now they are standing back here behind us, watching with us as we try to figure out what deputies are doing out here. But again, this is still very active out here. We are all watching and seeing all of this for the first time. But again, just within the last 5 minutes, I saw somebody go out into the woods with a shovel. Again, we can't get a clear look at what they're doing back there or how far back into the woods they've gone. We can just barely see them behind the bushes. But of course, we're not going anywhere. We're going to stay out here and watch and bring you the latest on whatever the Sheriff's Office can tell us that they are doing out here. But again, this is all very active. Right here we see, let me step out of the way again. As you can see, there's a lot of movement going on behind me here. I'm just going to stop talking and let you watch this for yourselves as we're trying to take all this in and figure out what's going on.
And Sydney, real quick, I want to ask you, the presence out here it's a lot busier than it was about 15 to 30 minutes ago, and we're trying to find out who exactly is on scene here. We know this is just the Aiken County Sheriff's Office, but we're trying to find out if there is another agency on scene here. You saw, it's almost a jarring video when you watch it. Investigators behind the home here. Again, if you're just now joining us, investigators out there at Javeayah Harris's family home, crime scene tape up. Sheriff's Office investigators were out there walking in and out of the home with what looked like brown evidence bags. This was in the last 30 minutes or so that we brought it to you live. Now they've gone behind the home. Investigators grabbed shovels, are back there. It looks like they're maybe looking through some debris and some trash back there. So we're going to be careful with what we're showing you here. We don't know what exactly they're looking for here. We asked investigators why they were out at this house. The Sheriff's Office tells us this is still an active and ongoing investigation, so they can't tell us those details. So again, this is live TV. We are seeing it for the very first time with all of you. We are still trying to find out why they're out here. But Sydney, you've been out there for the last 20 or 30 minutes or so. Activity has certainly picked up.
Absolutely, Will. Like I said, I've seen people that wanted to come here to contribute to the growing memorial you see right here behind me, but now they are standing right here beside us watching, taking all of this in with us. Like I said, we're all seeing this for the first time, as are you, and we're just, again, trying to figure out what exactly is going on here. Like I said, we have asked the Aiken County Sheriff's Office, and they said that this is an active investigation and they cannot give every single detail with it. But of course, like I said, we're not going anywhere. We're going to stay out here and continue watching to bring you the latest updates.
Before today, the search was taking place 2 hours away in the Chester County Fairfield area. We were only out here today to check out the memorial and do an update on this story and ran into investigators on scene.
Yeah, new. We just learned this, and this is confirmable information that we just learned because we were looking at video from some of the personnel who were out here, and we did notice that the Aiken County Coroner's Office is there on scene, but they tell us that they are just accompanying the Sheriff's Office at this time. That's all that they can tell us. As you see them back there behind the home of Javeayah Harris's family, we saw investigators grab a shovel and head back there. It looks like they may have some bags, and they have been moving some debris around back there and putting it into a container too. So again, we're trying to find out what exactly they were doing at this house. This is still a very active and ongoing investigation. Obviously a very active scene too as investigators, and now we can confirm that the sheriff's or the coroner's office is here on scene helping the sheriff's office. So that gives you an indication of where this may be heading or what they're doing out there too.
Absolutely. And again, we don't have any details into why or what exactly they're looking for, but we will have a crew out there remaining as we learn more. All the details we're giving you is just from our crew on scene and what they have been seeing, because like I said, before today, we were told that a search was happening 2 hours away from Aiken, but now we're seeing crime scene tape up today.
And again, that search that was happening 2 hours ago, Zaina, we were just talking about this, and that was just an area of interest, right? We don't know what significance that area had played in this entire investigation. That could have been part of what the parents told investigators. It could have not been true at all. But again, we know that that was an area of interest that the sheriff's office and SLED and DNR were out there checking. But now this is entirely shifted right here back at home in Aiken County to Javeayah Harris's family home, as you see a handful of investigators in the woods behind the family's home. This has progressed significantly in the last 20 to 30 minutes, and there's more and more law enforcement personnel who have showed up on scene to assist in this investigation at this time. Again, if you're just now joining us, we don't know why they're here. We don't know what information they gained to bring them back to the family's home. The crime scene tape has not been up in days at this point, when people were showing up to lay things by the memorial. So this is an astonishing update in the case of Javeayah Harris and her disappearance and death too.
And we are marking today a week since Javeayah was first reported missing by her mother. We just showed you, or rather you heard those 911 calls yesterday along with the warrants that were released. So we're marking a week into the search for Javeayah and just waiting to see and learn what investigators are exactly looking for right back here in the CSRA over there in Aiken County.
And we have two reporters there on scene. Sydney Hood and Ethan Hunter are live at the scene trying to get as much information as they can for us. Obviously, investigators are not going to speak to us about this as it's active and ongoing, and it's a very sensitive topic. Again, we don't know why they're here or what exactly they're looking for, but we'll keep you updated. We want to give you some background on this entire case and a little bit of the parents' charges. We got the warrants in the 911 call yesterday.
And tonight, Javeayah's parents are still in jail after being arrested Saturday.
Now, warrants say they confessed to killing her, with her mother admitting to disposing of her body. That's a direct contradiction to the 911 call made a week ago tonight, claiming that she was missing. Now, Javeayah's parents, Michelle Herring and Javeayah Harris, are both charged with homicide by child abuse, and Herring also facing that false police report charge. Authorities say she knew Javeayah was dead when she made that 911 call. Right now, they're still in jail with no bond until a circuit court judge can determine if they qualify. Their first court appearance is set for September, and we know that a circuit court judge can set that bond. They're the only ones that have the authority to do that in South Carolina, because that homicide by child abuse charge is a life in prison or a death penalty result if they are convicted of that. So that's why it has to be that particular judge.
And Will, something we've been talking about, the memorial. Memorials have been growing for this little girl, Javeayah, since we first reported her missing. There's been just an outreach, an outpour from local businesses, community members that don't even know Javeayah, just wanting to show their support in honor of this little girl.
Yeah, it's just been incredible, the community's support and them showing up for Javeayah and making sure that her memory is not lost in all of this. We've been focusing a lot on the parents, of course, and what has happened, but the community support through all of this, as you're getting another live look at investigators behind the family's home, the support has been immense. You see that memorial right out front of that home, and it's just grown and grown and grown over the last few days, and there's been several vigils. We have a few more later on this week, too. I know we have one coming up Thursday, and then tomorrow they want there's an organizer that wants everyone to wear pink or Minnie Mouse attire too for little Javeayah.
And again, if you are just tuning in with us on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we are taking a live look here in Aiken County at 4-year-old Javeayah's home. There are local investigators, and we just now got confirmation that the coroner's office is out there assisting. We don't know exactly what they are looking for, but our crew on scene have been seeing investigators in and out of the home Javeayah lived at, and also right here near a wooded area of her home. They appear to have shovels and be digging for something. Again, we don't know exactly why they're out there, what they're looking for, but we just know that they put that crime scene tape up today. So this is a very active situation there at Javeayah's home. Of course, we know this investigation is ongoing. We mentioned how there was a search. We didn't know exactly into what, 2 hours away. In Fairfield, Chester County line. Your Meredith Anderson was following that Saturday, and yesterday she was out there too. I know she mentioned them looking over a body of water. But right now, this investigation now here back at home.
Yeah, and for full transparency, we've been saying this for the last half hour or so. We didn't get tipped off about this. We just happened to be out there trying to get video of that growing memorial in front of the family's home as you see investigators discussing something behind the family's home. So this was all new when we got there and we saw investigators just show up with their unmarked vehicles, get out, put that crime scene tape up, open up the trunks of their cars, and it initially started with them going in and out of the home with those brown bags. They had gloves on and then walking around with cameras. They had gone behind the home, put some bug spray on, and then that was about it. And then again, just in the last 10 minutes, we brought this to you live. We were seeing it for the first time. A higher law enforcement presence happened, and now they've walked behind the family's home with a shovel. We don't know what they're looking for, and now, again, we've learned that the Aiken County Coroner's Office is on scene assisting. They won't tell us what it's for. We've also asked investigators why they're here or what led them back to the family's home, too. They tell us they can't. It's an active and ongoing investigation here. So a lot of you have asked us, we've been live streaming this on WRDW Plus too. A lot of you have been asking, why haven't they gone to the family's home? Why haven't they taken the truck? They may have done all of that initially. They may have gotten that search warrant and gone inside the family's home, but more information could have come from the parents or someone else or in their investigation in general to lead them back to this house. And that's why they're here this evening searching. So again, we don't know why they're here, but there's been a urgent search to try to bring Javeayah's body home.
And this is something we're going to continue to follow as we have an active crew out there. We're going to check back in then with just a bit, but right now we're going to send things over to your First Alert meteorologist, Malik Bryant, with a check of the forecast.
Yeah, it's been another hot one here across the CSRA. Here are those current temperatures into the 90s, and we're going to continue to stay that way as we head into your tomorrow as well. So midnight.
Has been for the last several minutes. Sydney, we know that that scene has grown with more investigators joining out there. What are you seeing?
And more people are showing up. Like I said, many of them came out here to visit the memorial that is growing by the days, but now they are standing out here watching with us. I'm going to step out of the way so you can look at what we are seeing in real time. We're seeing a lot of this for the first time, watching it happen in real life. Again, we've mentioned that we've seen a deputy go back into the woods with a shovel. We do not know what they are looking for back there, so we're going to be careful about what we show you right now because this is obviously a very delicate situation here. We have asked the Aiken County Sheriff's Office if they could tell us what they are doing out here. They said that this is an active and ongoing investigation and they cannot share every detail here, but you can see we've got 2 deputies that are standing to the right of this truck that you see right here in front of me. And I wanted to get a gauge of how deep into the woods behind the house they are going into. I can still see them if I stand beside the mailbox. So they are not too far back into the woods, but they are covered up by some shrubbery on the property. So we can't get a clear view of what exactly they are doing back there, but we can see movement back there. And we are watching from the road, trying to be as descriptive as possible to see what they are doing back there. But I mean, we're watching this in real time as it goes underway. Not a lot that we can tell you right now. I can only tell you who's moving back there, what they're doing as well. But just again, I'm just going to stop talking for a minute so you can watch this happening in real time. Like I said, a lot of us are standing back here watching this unfold for the very first time. And again, don't know how long they've been out here, but I can tell you that more deputies have shown up since I've been out here. I've been out here since about 5:50. And again, I'm just going to stop talking for a little bit so you can watch this in real time. And Will and Zane, if y'all have any questions for me, ask them away. You just saw them going inside the house. This is the first time I've seen them gone into the house since I got out here.
And these are huge developments in the case of Javeayah Harris. She is still missing. They have not recovered her yet at this point. We still don't know why they are here on scene, but you can see some of the investigators making phone calls. I think there's only about 1 investigator or deputy that's still in that back area right now. You saw a couple of them back there with some shovels. It looked like they were moving some debris, maybe some trash back there. We're unsure at this time what they were doing. Our view's kind of blocked where we are on the street, of course. We don't want to show you too much because we don't know what they're looking for or what they're going to pull up. So we're trying to be as careful as we can and trying not to interfere with their investigation while keeping you guys as updated as we possibly can. But you saw several of them walking back into that house. Sydney, have they grabbed anything else?
A shovel, and the truck that they got that shovel from has since left. Like Ethan mentioned earlier, he saw some deputies spray themselves with bug spray before going back into the woods, but I haven't seen them grab anything else. Some water bottles because it's hot out here, but the shovel was the most significant thing that I've seen them grab since I've been out here, Will.
We also saw those brown paper evidence bags as well that were grabbed by an investigator when we were first on scene here. So some interesting and huge developments with the case of Javeayah Harris. As you see them back behind this house, it looks like they're still shoveling some things up. Guys, we should probably be careful with this as well. Just want to make sure that we're not showing anything that we shouldn't be, and we want to be careful and respectful as well. We don't know why they're here, but again, we do know the coroner's office is assisting the sheriff's office with this investigation right now.
And Sydney did mention, too, the sheriff's office telling us that this is an ongoing investigation. They can't release every detail into the investigation, so we really are strictly going with what we're seeing right now and what our reporters are telling us, too. And that's really just that investigators are looking for something. They have a shovel, they're digging for something, and they're in and out of the home, too.
And this has been a huge change from what we saw earlier this week into the weekend, too, right? They were up in Great Falls searching an area of interest. I think that's an important verbiage that the sheriff's office used in their press conference from Saturday, if you remember this. they were searching a area of interest. So it's unclear what exact information they got to lead them to the upstate at that Fairfield and Chester County state lines. Your Meredith Anderson was up there Saturday and then all day yesterday too while that search was going on. She couldn't get back to that boat ramp area that they were looking in, but she saw DNR out there, ATVs, drones. We know SLED's helicopter was up on Saturday. So this is a drastic difference in search areas. Obviously, they're back here at home looking for Javeayah or evidence at this point in the case. So we're going to continue to follow this. We can head to break here, and we'll pop this back up for you guys and give you another recap right after this short break.
I can see over this trees. This is as high as the tripod goes. But I mean, I don't know for sure is the problem. There's a bunch of trash back. I mean, I can see the ground is all I'm saying from how tall I am.
Which camera? Can they teams message us? I don't know.
I'm not hearing anything.
You mean the wide shot from the road?
Hey. This shot? You're telling me things 5 seconds after they happen. Keep going. Okay. Okay, am I going live again, or it's staying on Sydney, right? Okay, I'll call back in. Was I too close to what they're doing? Okay. Okay, we'll do. Bye bye.
Live from Augusta, Breaking news.
We're continuing to follow breaking news where investigators are back at the home of Javeayah Harris right outside of Aiken. They set up a crime scene tape and are searching the nearby woods and even inside the home.
Yeah, your Sydney Hood and Ethan Hunter are there right now. Guys, what can you see out there and what's the latest?
A night and day scene out here as I was just in the neighborhood this afternoon at around 2 o'clock watching this memorial you see right here behind me grow by the days, by the hours. And now what I see out here are people who wanted to come out here and see the memorial but are now standing out here beside us as we watch investigators behind us search inside the home and outside the home. I'm going to step out of the way. We're going to be careful about what we show you because we do not know what they're doing back there. I can tell you that I have seen a deputy go back there with a shovel. It's very hard to get a clear look at what exactly they're doing back there because even though I can see movement back there, it's not a clear vision. I can't see what's on the ground, what they're looking at. I did see someone go back there with yellow numbered evidence blockers. Your Ethan Hunter earlier told you that he saw deputies out here with what appear to be brown evidence bags as they go inside the house and of course are looking outside the house just beyond the truck that you see on your screen right here, guys. So a lot is going on out here. We've had an update for every minute it feels like since I got out here, and I haven't even been out here for an hour yet. But again, we're just out here watching, as are people from the neighborhood or people who were just driving by wanting to come by the memorial, just watching with our own eyes as we try to piece together what's going on back here. We did reach out to the sheriff's office, who says that this is an active investigation and they cannot share every detail with us, which understandably, like they mentioned, this is an active investigation. They don't want to put out too much, especially while they're out here working right now. But we're not going anywhere. We are back here watching with everyone else in the neighborhood who has shown up and trying to bring you the latest developments as we see them in real time.
And we've backed up a little bit on our second view of this because we want to try to be as respectful as we can. And we didn't know originally why they were out here too. They still haven't told us what exactly they've learned to bring them back to the family home. But we can say that sources are now telling us that the work being done at this home is collecting evidence in the case, but not part of the search for Javeayah herself and her remains. So this is about evidence right now. We still want to be respectful about what they're doing because we did see them sifting through some dirt and some other debris, if you will, for some evidence purposes and trying to search through that.
Absolutely, and I think it's important to be respectful because we don't know what that evidence looks like. But we also did get confirmation that the coroner's office is out there accompanying the sheriff's office at this time from what they told us. So it really is a heavy law enforcement presence since we first arrived on scene. Our reporter initially came out to Javeayah's home to get new video of that memorial that's growing right outside of her home there at the mailbox. And that's when he walked into this scene. Crime scene tape now up, investigators on scene. And since your Sydney Hood has been out there, she's saying that that presence has now grown. But since this weekend, we were talking about how that there was a search going on a couple hours away, or this was a area of interest, I guess, rather, but no details into that. But we're going to send things right back out to Sydney. Sydney, what's it looking like?
Still a lot of moving parts going on back here behind me. But like I said earlier, it's a night and day scene out here. Like I said, whenever I was out here at around 2 o'clock this afternoon looking at the memorial and watching how it's grown, it was very quiet out here, very still, much like the neighborhood. But I can tell you within the last week, this neighborhood has been anything but, as neighbors are now used to seeing deputies line up the street that we're on right now. This is Hillsborough Street right here in Aiken. And you have a lot of people who live in the neighborhood who are standing right here beside us watching all of this unfold in real time. A lot of them have the same questions that we all have out here. But of course, like the sheriff's office told us, this is still an active and ongoing investigation. There is not a lot that they can share with us right now, but we can give you the information that we are watching with our eyes right now. I'm going to step out of the way again so you can see what is going on behind me. You see we've got two deputies right here talking. They've got a cooler down at their feet. feet. And like I said, much of the movement is going on beyond the truck. Branson, if we can zoom out a bit, I want to show this truck that I'm talking about here. Much of the movement is going on behind that. So like I said, I can see movement going on back there in the woods, but I can't see exactly what they are looking at on the ground or what they have found. And of course, we are keeping our distance because we want to be respectful. But like I said, that's the clearest vision that I can get is where I'm standing at right now. I'm just on the other side of the memorial right now. So they're not too far deep into the woods from what I can see right here. I can still see them, but I can't see exactly what they're doing out there. This is as close as we can get, and this is as close as we are going to get because, again, like we've said multiple times, we are going to be respectful out here because we do not know what they are uncovering back there.
And Sydney, we know we're showing a lot of the investigators outside, but we do know they have been going in and out of the home. Have you seen them walk out with any items?
Not since I've been out here, Zaina. I've just seen deputies go inside the house. Like Ethan said earlier, he saw some of them holding what appear to be brown evidence bags. But most of the movement that I can see right now is going on beyond the truck that is parked beside the house. Like I said, can't see for sure what they're doing back there. This is as close as we can get, but I can see movement going on back there. But that does tell me that they aren't far deep into the woods where we can't see them at all. We can still see them. They're just covered up by this truck and by some shrubbery in the woods.
And it looked like it looks like one of the investigators went back there with another evidence bag as they're still back here behind the house. It looks like they're looking at different things on the ground. And just to give you an idea, the coroner's office is on scene investigating. That's who you're seeing right here. And sources have told us that this is a search for collecting evidence in the case, but not part of the search for the little girl's remains, for Javeayah Harris's remains at this point. Still, we want to be careful about what we're showing and what you're seeing as well. We want to be as respectful as we can with this situation too. So this is just a drastic difference from what we saw earlier, late last week and then over the weekend too. The search was happening up in the Great Falls, South Carolina area, which is in the upstate near the Fairfield and Chester County county lines, excuse me. And that's when we saw large DNR enforcement up there, large law enforcement presence. You couldn't get down a boat ramp up there, very rural area. Now it seems like this has shifted maybe back here at home, and the focus is on the family's house right here as you're taking a look, as they now have this roped off with crime scene tape, which is right next to the growing memorial that's out front too. So still a lot more with all this. This gives us more answers than questions than it does answers right now.
And all of this comes 1 week, exactly 1 week since Javeayah was first reported missing by her mother. We released those 911 calls to you all yesterday. Certainly that story that she put out there, not true. And we knew that as soon as we got the warrants. It told a completely different story. But today marking exactly 1 week since Javeayah was first reported missing, we've been talking about that growing memorial, the growing outpour of support from the community for this little girl that they don't even know. That's why we came to this site today when Ethan went out there to get new video of that memorial that's just growing with balloons, Minnie Mouse, stuffed animals right in front of her home. You're taking a look at it there. And since then, vigils have been held. We know there was a vigil Sunday, Will. You went out there and so many people showed up.
Hundreds of people showed up. And the greatest part about that was no one knew who the organizer was. So several people asked me when I showed up, they said, "Do you know who organized this?" I said, "I have no idea." Cops didn't even know either when we were out there. But it was great. It started at 7 o'clock. And again, they got up there and said, "Who organized this?" And no one spoke up. We don't know if that person was at the event or not. But one by one, many of you who may be watching stepped up in front of hundreds of people and just talked about how you were hurting and how this may have been impacting you and what really needs to change in the community too, to make sure something like this can be prevented in the future potentially. So it was really heartwarming to see so many of you showed up with balloons and photos of Javeayah on candles too. It was an incredible show of support. And again, it's amazing what a horrible situation like this can do for the community.
It's bringing people together during a sad time at the same time. And again, we were taking that live look right there where investigators are searching. And there's another vigil planned for this week on Thursday.
On Thursday, yep, at 7:30. That'll be at the event center. That's in the Shiloh Heights area in the neighborhood over there too. So you're encouraged to bring stuffed animals and bring your own candle as well. Wednesday, everyone's supposed to wear pink in honor of Javeayah Harris too, and either pink or Minnie Mouse clothing too, which is pretty sweet.
And that's happening tomorrow. And we know that there's also been an outpour from local businesses. Sydney Hood spoke to a local business in the area that actually fed investigators during the search, just people looking to help in any way possible, because we know that law enforcement told us, they didn't want the community helping in the search at the time. So people were just looking for any way that they could help.
And you make a great point there on why they didn't want the public. And you see them rolling out what looked like a large black bag there and taking photos. But you made a great point here with the search and not wanting the public's help immediately with this, because if the public got involved and then somehow ended up at the family's home here, went on the property and walked the property and, turned over a rock, did something to mess up evidence, they're now back at the home looking for evidence on the ground here. So if someone were to show up and mess up a crime scene potentially, we don't know what that is yet, if that's what this is yet, but if they messed up this crime scene, then they wouldn't potentially get answers in the case. We don't know what they're looking for here, of course, but it is obviously significant enough for them to bring this many resources out here to look. So that is an important part of why they didn't want the public looking in the first place. This is a prime example of that.
No, you bring up a great point. And today we know that they're looking for evidence. We don't know what that evidence looks like, but hopefully with, to your point, people not helping in that search, it makes it easier for them to gather and find whatever that they are looking for. I know that search happened initially at Javeayah's home when her mom put out that story of her being in the chicken coop and running off. But again, too, they were worried that, having people out there could take away Javeayah's scent, because we know we had the dogs out there helping in the search.
And a few of you have actually noticed this. I've been reading some comments on Facebook and looking at social media. Listening back to that 911 call from Javeayah's mother, she mentions to the dispatcher that there is a walking path back behind the house in the woods too. So that is an area that they may be looking in for some of that evidence. You saw them shoveling up some debris and putting it in bags or a container back there, and they were just taking photos. It looks like they were laying out maybe a black tarp of some sort. But again, this is a search with the Dayton County Sheriff's Office, Coroner's Office is assisting, and this is a search for evidence and not remains at this point. That's what a source is telling us right now. So we're still trying to be careful of what we're showing.
Absolutely. And as far as Javeayah's parents go, they are still in jail after being arrested. That was on Saturday. Warrants say they confessed to killing her, with her mother admitting to disposing of her body. That's a direct contradiction to the 911 call made a week ago, claiming she was missing.
And Javeayah's parents, Michelle Herring and Javeayah Harris, are both charged with homicide by child abuse. And Herring is also charged with making a false police report. That's where that 911 call came into play. Authorities say she knew Javeayah was dead when she made that 911 call 7 days ago today. Right now, they're still in jail with no bond until a circuit court can determine if they qualify. Now, that's important to know as well, because we were looking that up and a lot of people had questions. Now, they're just held without bond by the judge who did all that on Sunday, but a circuit court judge is the only judge that has the authority to set bond for a charge like homicide by child abuse, because that charge could result in a conviction. It could result in life in prison or the death penalty if they are convicted. So that's the only judge that can set that. Both will have their first court appearance, and that's set for September. So that's something we'll continue to track. And they will have another bond hearing in 30 days as well in front of that circuit court judge.
Okay, so we're talking about a few months now in September. So like you said, we'll continue to follow it. Right now, though, we're going to send things over to Malik with a check of the forecast, and then we'll go right back out to your Sydney Hood.
Yeah, taking a look at those current temperatures right now here in the CSRA, into the mid-90s, and we're going to
right now. A very night and day scene out here. As I said earlier, I was out here by the memorial at around 2 o'clock this afternoon. So some 4.5 hours ago, and there wasn't a soul out here. It was quiet. We've obviously seen this memorial grow outside of our house by the days, and after 5 o'clock, I was talking to your Ethan Hunter, and he was saying that that's when he tends to see more people come over here to the memorial because more people are getting off of work to leave stuffed animals behind for Javeayah, and he says that a lot of them were out here wanting to leave something by the memorial whenever they saw the same thing that we are looking at right now, and that is the yellow crime scene tape and the unmarked vehicles out here, which we've now learned are from the Aiken County Sheriff's Office. But like I said, we're all watching this in real time with you all as we see movement going on behind this truck. Can't see exactly what they're doing over there. This is as close as we can get, and is as close as we are going to get because this is a sensitive situation and we want to respect that. We have asked the Aiken County Sheriff's Office if they could tell us anything about what they're doing out here, and they said that this is an active investigation and they cannot give all of the details as to what they are doing out here. You see a deputy walk in towards us right now going beside the truck. He has on black rubber gloves right now, coming from behind the truck where they've been this entire time that I've been out here. But like I said, a lot of movement that is going on out here. But if anything, that all of this has brought on more questions than answers, guys, that we are working to try and get answered here. But like I said, this is all going on live before our eyes. We are trying to bring you the latest step by step as to what we're seeing out here as we're all watching this in real time. But I can tell you that it has drawn a lot of attention since Ethan got out here at around 5 o'clock. We've seen a lot of people line up here on Hillsborough Street trying to watch all of this for themselves. But again, we're not going anywhere anytime soon. We're going to be out here to bring you the latest on what goes on out here and what they find. Again, about 30 minutes ago, I did see someone go back there with a shovel, but again, we don't know exactly what they're looking for back there, what they've uncovered. This is as close as we're going to get because, as we've said multiple times, we want to be respectful of what's going on back here. But like I said, we're not going anywhere. We'll be out here to bring you the latest.
And Sydney, real quick, can you turn the camera to where everyone is standing? I know a lot of people have actually showed up to the scene here. Can you show us how many people are on the street or what's around you?
Yeah, turn this way, Brenson. He wants to see everyone that's lined up here to see what's going on here. So, Will, yeah, I don't know if you can see, I don't know which camera you're looking at right now, but what I'm looking at on my camera is people who are lined up on Hillsborough Street, across the street from the house, just trying to see what's going on. A lot of people obviously came out here to show their respects by the memorial, to leave behind stuffed animals, flowers for Javeayah, but they came out here to find the same thing that we all found, which is the yellow crime scene tape, and the deputies lined up going in and out of the house. Again, we don't know exactly what they're doing back there. We're going to step back a little bit because there is a car trying to come by in the road right now. So I'm going to just go ahead and send things back to you all as we stand back and watch. We are in the middle of the road, so it's obviously getting very crowded out here. So guys, we'll be back, I'm sure, at 7 o'clock with any latest developments that come on out here. What an incredible scene to see that many people show up as well. I know people have been probably getting off work and showing up for the memorial that's out front of the house, but you can imagine some people heard about this and showed up to want to know what's happening here. As you're taking a look at investigators who are still on the phone, this is behind the family's home here, so they've been going through some debris on the ground. They've been sifting through some dirt. We saw some of the investigators go behind with a shovel as well, and they've been going, you can see them in and out of the house here as they are looking for evidence connected to the case of Javeayah Harris. We know this is not about remains. We learned that from a source.
And that video just goes to show the support of people around Javeayah, people that want to know answers, right? We are talking about a memorial growing outside our home. This is actually the vigil from Sunday. Will, you were there.
Yeah, this was incredible, as you can hear him singing here, and there were hundreds, I mean, maybe 200.
innocent kids. Again, we're giving you that live look there, Aiken County, right behind Javeayah's home, where investigators are looking for what we're told evidence, not remains. We have been talking about over the last couple of days, and this weekend we had Meredith Anderson. She was 2 hours away near the Fairfield County, Chester County line, where there was a search happening there, and that was an area of interest.
And that still could be happening. We actually didn't get up there today. We were there yesterday. So that search could have very well happened today. This could be completely unrelated to that search, where they're just trying to find evidence here at the family's home now. And we don't know why they're here. We don't know what information they received to bring them back to the family's home. But a lot of people have actually brought this up. It's a really interesting point, because the family's home was actually not taped off for the after they left, and the parents were charged in this case, and investigators actually left. The blockades were lifted as well. The family's home was not blocked off. So that is something that is now brought in the question of, did someone potentially go into this area and mess up a potential crime scene too? I mean, they had open access. I know it'd be trespassing at that point, but it brings up the question and begs the question of why wasn't it roped off before, and what have they learned to bring them back?
But you did bring up a great point earlier with law enforcement. When this search initially started and that 911 call initially made, Javeayah believing to be in a chicken coop, taken off, law enforcement were out in this area. They were searching the woods, and they told the community to not help in the search. Hopefully that's helping them now, so no evidence was ruined with people helping in that search, with other smells, scents. So
it shows that they knew something too. They had enough information to believe that they didn't want the public involved to mess something up, or to ruin a crime scene or miss something, especially in the search too. So this has become very important now, the family's home becoming a focus of this investigation at this point, as the Aiken County Sheriff's Office is on scene, as well as the coroner's office, who is assisting them at this point. And just left of this camera, I mean, there is a handful of people, whether they're neighbors or not, who have showed up to get some kind of answers and to see what's going on. That's really been the focus of the story too.
And of course, we're giving you that outside look, and you see a lot of investigators outside. But since we have been out here, we have seen investigators going in and out of the home. We did ask your Sydney Hood not too long ago if she saw them bringing anything out. She said no, but they were walking in with gloves, evidence bags. So of course, their evidence investigation is also happening inside too. Yeah, they rolled out a tarp as well back there, and we're taking some photos. So it's going to be interesting to see what evidence they collect here. This is for collecting evidence, not for remains at this point. That's what we were told by sources here. So it's going to be interesting to see what they find at this family's home. I know we won't find out anytime soon. As you can see, more and more people who are showing up with stuffed animals and balloons to add to that ever-growing memorial out front of Javeayah's home. And we were told another vigil is happening this Thursday. The community encouraged to wear pink and/or Minnie Mouse clothing tomorrow in honor of Javeayah. We're going to continue to follow this as investigators search Javeayah's home. We're going to have more on 26 News at 7 o'clock, where we're going to bring you more live reports from your Sydney Hood and your Ethan Hunter. I'm just saying, because you remember we had the GBI, we had SLED. I do. Mic check, mic check.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I got you.
And at some point, I want to like show like how many cars have lined up here. So just yes.
Yeah, I'm about to switch batteries, so you're going to lose me for 1 second.
As I've watched deputies go in and out of the house where Javeayah Harris was first reported missing at. I just watched a deputy go back inside holding what appear to be yellow evidence markers. I'm going to step out of the way so you can watch all of this. We are watching this all unfold in real time. You can see the deputies are coming out of the house right now. They have on what appears to be latex gloves. You can see one that's walking towards us right now and two more going back towards the woods beyond this truck that is parked beside the house. That is where we've seen most of the movement going on out here. That's outside of the house. You can see those two deputies that are gathered around what appears to be blue tarp from where I'm standing at right now. Like I said, we don't know what they're looking for back here beyond the truck, but when I first got out here at 10 minutes till 6 o'clock, I did see a deputy grab a shovel and go back there into the woods in the area beyond the Bates truck that's parked in the property right now. So again, a lot of moving parts that are going out here. I'm trying to describe what I'm seeing as it's happening in real time, just seeing a lot of deputies walk in groups with one another and talking. I've seen a couple of them at this point carrying the yellow evidence markers, not sure what they're marking back there, of course, because this is as close as we can get, and this is as close as we are going to get because we want to be respectful of the area. If we can take a wider shot, Brinson, here, I just want to give people any sort of view that they can get right now. You see the memorial that is right here beside the house and how it's grown by the days. This is a very different scene out here than what I saw at 2 o'clock this afternoon. There wasn't a soul out here by this memorial, but since then people have been showing up wanting to leave something behind for Javeayah, whether it's a stuffed animal, balloon, or flowers, but they came and saw the same thing that we are looking at right now, which is the yellow caution tape, and deputies back there in the woods and inside of the house right now. We're going to zoom in a little bit more to see what they're doing back there. Again, we want to be respectful because we do not know what they are finding back there. We've asked the Aiken County Sheriff's Office what they are doing out here, but they have told us that this is an active and ongoing investigation and they cannot share all of the details. We're going to move the camera back just a bit because we are standing in the middle of Hillsborough Street right now and there are cars going by, but I do want to show you how many people have shown up trying to see what's going on here. I've seen this block of Hillsborough Street grow since I've been out here. Like I said, right before 6 o'clock, it is starting to get a little bit crowded out here, and deputies say that they want this roadway to be cleared. So if you do have to travel in this area, if you live around here, just be mindful of what's going on out here. If we want to show what's going on by the house now, I'm going to leave the shot here as we need to move because there's a car trying to get to their house right now. So I'm just going to toss it back to you all in the studio for now. If we want to take Ethan's shot, he has a different camera angle. We need to move from where we're at right now.
So just a drastic difference from over the weekend to now. We know that search was happening in the upstate of South Carolina. It still could be happening up there, but now the focus is on the home of Javeayah Harris here in Aiken County at this point, as you're seeing a large law enforcement presence along with a large community presence out front of this house here. Again, you heard from Sydney there. We're going to rehash some information just because that's what we have, and for those of you just joining us, you can get caught up to speed here. But again, we know the sheriff's office was out here about, I would say, an hour and a half ago. They roped off the house here. You see the crime scene tape, and then it got busier and busier. It started with investigators walking in and out of the house. They had brown evidence bags with gloves on, and then we eventually saw that progress where a deputy and investigators actually grabbed a shovel and went behind the family's home here, and they were further back than this at this point, and they started looking through some dirt and some debris back there. But sources tell us that this is an evidence gathering event happening and not a remains event here. So they're not looking for remains for Javeayah Harris. This was for evidence. You saw and you heard from Sydney saying that she saw those yellow evidence markers inside and outside the home too. So they were going through several different things, again, sifting through some dirt, looking for different pieces of clothing, maybe evidence that they had around the house as they're lifting up some tarps. So this has progressed drastically.
Absolutely. And when we first arrived out there, there weren't as many deputies out there. So this has grown in the last couple of hours since our reporters have been on scene. Our reporter showed up to get new video today of that growing memorial that you just saw outside. The community really showing an outpour of support. I believe we have pictures here right now of cars lined up. So this is actually happening right now. Cars lining up along the side of Javeayah's home, standing there. I know we saw some people, adding to that memorial too, but this has been a story about a little girl. A lot of these people don't even know it's touched so many people.
And I've been back to that neighborhood. It's really quiet. It's tucked away too, so there's not much activity back there. And this has been quite a busy week for the people who live back there. 7 days exactly since that 911 call was made to the Aiken County Sheriff's Office. So I can imagine that this has been very hard on a lot of the neighbors back there who have been questioned by the FBI, who have been questioned by other investigators too. So this has made an impact on not only this family and the community, but also the people who live back there too, who are watching all of this unfold in real time. It's just incredible. And it's been shocking too, just to hear the details come out in this entire case from the search. You're seeing that search video that happened throughout late last week. You had the helicopters in the air, dogs out, drones out, looking for Javeayah, thinking that she was still alive, still out there somewhere, and that there was a lot of hope that she was going to be found and returned home. But now we know, as you're looking at search video from the upstate, that has shifted outside our area after we found out that she passed away and had been deceased for at least a month prior to that 911 call. And of course, both of her parents charged with killing her, charged with homicide by child abuse, and then the mother also charged with that, filing a false police report. And that's where the 911 call came into play too. And we know that this was from physical abuse that was from a severe head injury. And on the father's warrant, Javeayah Harris's warrant, it says that this was caused by the victim's mother too. And then she was also the one who disposed of her body at another location. So still, we don't know if they've disclosed that location. We know that that upstate area was an area of interest, but we don't know what exactly led them there. I know we do have pieces of the 911 call we'll play for you. Take a listen.
Aiken County 911, where's your emergency?
Ma'am, I'm at 39 Hillsborough Street. I can't find my baby.
39 Hillsborough Street?
Yes, ma'am. She was outside playing, and I came out here after cooking dinner a little bit, and I'm looking for her, but I don't see her nowhere.
Okay. How long ago did you see her, ma'am? When was the last time you saw her?
I just came out here like no less than 20 or 30 minutes ago. I went in the house to cook dinner, and I told her it's time to come in once it starts getting dark. And when I came out here, I can't find her.
Just take a breath for me, okay?
Again, that was the mother calling Aiken County deputies for help, saying that Javeayah had been abducted. We learned that from the warrant. She said she was abducted, and they learned that that was not true. And She said that she was inside cooking dinner, 39 weeks pregnant, had run a bath for Javeayah, even had a conversation with deputies saying that Javeayah wanted to keep playing outside. She had told her that, and we know that that is not true. As it looks like we'll try to move our cameras away from that. We're not sure what they're pulling out of here, so we'll try, but it looked like it was a big blue tarp and they were carrying something. So again, we want to be careful with what we're showing here, and we were told that this was evidence and not remains, but again, we just want to be careful.
Absolutely, and we don't know exactly what that evidence is, but right now, actually, we're being told from a reporter on scene that they do have clothes in their hands and they are putting them in bags. So again, we do still want to be sensitive as this investigation is happening and as they look for evidence. It's happening both outside, inside the home. We're marking exactly 1 week since that 911 call was originally made. We received those 911 calls just yesterday. And Will, a lot of us here listened to it for the very first time, of course, already knowing what we know now.
Yep.
It was really hard to hear because you hear this mom and she sounds like, you know, she's really frantic about her little girl missing. Certainly a lie, not true.
It was really hard to listen to be completely transparent. It was very difficult to hear knowing the outcome that we know now. And again, she was 39 weeks pregnant, so she very well could have been dealing with some of maybe contractions. Who knows? It begs the question, right? She was 39 weeks pregnant, gave birth to a child later that night that we now know is with family members. So that could have been the case as well. And then I also talked to the father on Thursday last week, Javeayah Harris. I had a phone interview with him Thursday afternoon, and he gave me an entire story about where he was while all of this was happening. Told me he went to 3 or 4 stores because Javeayah wanted some candy, and he had ended up getting gas, got some Mad Dogs, and then ended up at a laundromat, saw the cops, thought that his girlfriend had gone into labor, so he raced home, and that's when he saw a large police presence after that 911 call was made, and told me that he had no idea what had happened to Javeayah, and now we know that that is likely not a true story, and that Javeayah had been dead for at least a month before that 911 call came in. And when I had that conversation with Javeayah too, and again, both are still behind bars, held without bond, and they will be going to another judge in the next 30 days to see if they do qualify for bond, as you're taking a look at their mugshots here tonight.
Yeah, it's really just one thing after the other. Since she was first reported missing Tuesday, new details just began to slowly come out within the week, and here we are today.
And you pick up on new details every time you hear that interview with the father. That's on our website if you want to listen, or if you listen to that 911 call, you just pick up on little details about what was told to dispatchers and what he told me. And what she said in that 911 call is that there's actually a walking path behind the home that she said Javeayah had gone to many times, and that people would walk on behind their home. So maybe that was true, maybe that wasn't true, but investigators were back there behind the home in the woods looking this afternoon.
Exactly, and initially this is where the search all started a week ago, and here we are today back at the home. You just took a live look at that visual growing. We know that there's a line of people out there right now just standing around wanting questions, or answers rather, to all of these questions surrounding Javeayah. A vigil was held Sunday. Will, you were there. Another vigil is planned for Thursday. They're asking people to wear pink or Minnie Mouse tomorrow in honor of her. And also to continue bringing stuffed animals, Minnie Mouse animals, and
yeah,
taking a look at that.
Yep, here it is on your screen now. So tomorrow you can wear pink in honor of Javeayah, and then again we have that that vigil on Thursday at 7:30. That's at the Event Center on Shiloh Heights Road. You can bring candles, stuffed animals, and balloons too. So we're going to take a quick break here. We'll be back here after a short break, and we'll keep you updated on this developing situation at Javeayah Harris's family home.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Just tell them that we're in business off and here's what you saw.
Should I take this shot? It's pretty zoomed out.
They keep telling me in my ear to stop showing this sensitive stuff, and nobody else is called in, and I don't know what else to tell people because they're telling me everything to tell them.
I'm called in, but they're not saying anything to me. I just sent.
Several evidence bags around the home. It looks like they were using several of them to put things inside. They were sifting through dirt a little bit earlier too. Again, the sheriff's office is out here with the coroner's office. They're assisting them. The coroner's office is assisting the sheriff's office, I should say, just to make that clear. So again, no real idea of what information led them back to the family's home. A lot of you were asking, why wasn't the home taped off in the first part? It really wasn't, since investigators had arrested the parents in this case. So it begs a good question. It's a good question to ask why the home wasn't taped off or roped off from the very beginning, so no one could mess up a potential crime scene in the future. But here we are. Focus is back on the family's home. We know that there is a search going on in the upstate. That very well could be going on still. We were up there yesterday. Didn't head back there today. It's about 2 hours away, so it is a drive to get up there and check, and you can't really see anything when you get up there too. It's limited details and really spotty cell service. This is where the search was. This is in Great Falls, South Carolina. So you can see we're stuck at the entrance of a public boat dock here at the Debutary Creek, and so there's not really many places to go out there. Law enforcement are the only ones in and out. DNR was up there. SLED's helicopter was up there on Saturday, I believe. So yeah, this is where we are now. Investigators at the home of Javeayah Harris at this point.
And we know that it's a heavy presence right now, not with just law enforcement, but community members. Community members have showed up lining the streets in what we can only assume in support of Javeayah Harris. As you take a live look at that growing memorial, we followed this memorial since it was first started, and certainly it's grown over time. We are marking exactly 1 week since that initial 911 call of Javeayah being reported missing happened. And again,
this is incredible. That is incredible how many people have showed up here to either put something at that memorial or just see what's going on with investigators at the scene. I mean, that is incredible. This is for a 4-year-old girl that they likely never knew or never heard of before all of this happened, and everyone showing up to the scene here to pay their respects and also keep updated with this investigation too. This is a small neighborhood off of Edgefield Highway, if you're familiar with this area in Aiken County. I mean, it is tucked back here and it's very quiet. There's not a lot going on. There's a few vacant houses next to this house that Javeayah Harris lived in too, and you can see cars struggling to get by. The road's not very big. Deputies had to ask people to move out of the way so traffic could keep flowing here. This is just amazing as you see little kids showing up to put stuffed animals.
This isn't just adults out there. We have little kids. I think this is a number of a little girl I've seen just allowing this memorial to grow. But Javeayah has certainly touched a lot of people, a lot of kids. Vigil's already been held. Sunday, another one happening this week. But again, we're giving you that live look from right outside of Javeayah's home, where we have the Aiken Sheriff's deputies looking for evidence in this case. We're going to toss to a quick break, but then we'll be back with more.
He was following you there.
Yeah, I'm not. Wanted to get him under control.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you for joining WRDW Plus. Obviously, if you guys have been following us for the last 2 hours or so, you know that there are major developments in the case of Javeayah Harris, as the focus is now her family's home in Aiken County, where this entire investigation started exactly 7 days ago when Javeayah's mother called 911 saying that she was abducted and had disappeared as well. We have your Ethan Hunter on the scene here. Ethan, you were the first one out there, and we sent you out there to get some video of that memorial behind you, and then investigators just showed up to the scene. What are you seeing now, and what do you know?
Yeah, I came here just a couple hours ago now just to see the memorial, see what had been set up. Your Sydney Hood, who's been live all afternoon as well, all evening, was here in the afternoon and saw there was nobody here. The crime scene tape was not up. Investigators were not here. Some people were coming and going to give things to the memorial, as they have been doing since this weekend when it started. We spoke to that woman who started it all yesterday. But that was the scene just a few hours ago, and then just an hour or so later, I came out to get some updated pictures of the memorial, to talk to some people who are coming, leaving things by after work. As we'll show you in just a moment, a lot of people have come to continue to give things to this memorial, and really now to watch what investigators are doing behind me. But when I came up, investigators had returned to the scene here, had crime scene taped off just half of this yard, and were going in between cars and the house. Actually, right when I got here, I saw a couple of investigators. It did not look like they had been back in the woods yet, but I watched them put bug spray on and then walk straight back into the woods when I got here now just about 2 hours ago. And then we've really just watched the scene play out from there. We watched some investigators. We now know, we did not know who was here at first because we had just pulled up to the scene and there were about 4 or 5 unmarked cars. We now know that's the Aiken County Sheriff's Department as well as the Aiken County Coroner's Office, working, just helping out with whatever the Sheriff's Department may need. But we've seen them take a shovel from the back seat, from the trunk of their car, walk back there. We have seen them coming in and out of the house with what appears to be brown evidence bags, as well as latex gloves, and looks like they were sifting through some objects in the backyard, kind of sifting through some dirt, taking things in tarps, taking things in evidence bags in and out of the house, and from the backyard back up into the cars as well. So that's really the scene that we've seen. It has grown in the number of just people out here. I would say there's close to about 50 or so just people that have come to give things to the memorial, give stuffed animals, toys, balloons. We know that Javeayah loved Minnie Mouse. There's a lot of Minnie Mouse stuffed animals, a lot of Minnie Mouse balloons. It seems that everybody's kind of going to the same party store there and bringing back the same Minnie and Mickey Mouse balloons because they know that she loved Minnie Mouse, as well as some stuffed animals as well. If you can hear the dogs, there's been some dogs that are coming, nothing to be alarmed about, but there's been some dogs outside as well ever since we've been out here that live in a neighbor's yard. But we also have been talking about there's not a whole lot of properties around here. There's a few neighbors that we've been speaking with since we were allowed down this road a few days ago, but some abandoned properties as well. So it just shows you these people, so many people from the Aiken community, from the greater community. I talked with one man who lives in Columbia, some people from Augusta, everybody coming to this spot to pay their respects to Javeayah, to show that she is loved, give a balloon, give a toy, do anything that they can, because everybody's kind of asking the question right now, what can you do when this unthinkable tragedy hits the community? And everybody answers that question in a different way.
And it looks like things, Ethan, might be wrapping up behind you. We see investigators in the back of their truck. It looked like he wrapped up some of the stuff that he had and then had put it in a trash bag. And then we also know that the coroner's office, who was out there assisting the sheriff's office, they were in that white Dodge that was right out front. Looks like they left about 10 minutes ago or so that you had stated. So again, it looks like things may be wrapping up at this point, but we'll continue to stick with it and bring you guys live updates. But again, the focus now on Javeayah Harris's family home right now. If you've been with us for about the last 2 hours or so, you know that investigators showed up to the home, taped it off, and then we're going in and out of the home. They had some brown evidence paper bags, it looks like. We got a view from inside the home briefly too while the front door was open. They were also back behind the home too, and we saw investigators at one point actually grab a shovel and head back behind the home. We have video of them going through debris, picking some things up. Looks like they put it in a barrel or a bag, and It was unclear at first what exactly they were doing or what evidence brought them back to this home, but we do know from sources, they did tell us that this was about evidence. It was not about collecting remains of Javeayah. I know so many people want answers as to what exactly happened to her and want to see that resolved, but again, this was an evidentiary I guess, search at the house to try to find anything that they can. They had yellow evidence markers too, Ethan. Does it look like things are wrapping up a bit? I know it's really busy on the road with people showing up for the memorial and just people who are curious about what's going on. Is it calming down a bit on the road with what investigators are doing?
Well, on the road, it's not calming down at all. In fact, more people continue to show up every few minutes. It seems we showed you a few videos earlier of the street next to me, just to my right, just full of cars as far as you can see. This is not a big road, so like I said earlier, about 50 or so people now here, some of them still staying in their cars, some of them coming out to watch what investigators are doing, to put down some stuffed animals, some balloons, what have you, at the memorial. It does look like we could see investigators wrapping up just a little bit. They have been out here for as long as I've been out here, which has been about 2.5 hours now, maybe a little bit more. So that's, they have been out here for a long time. When we first got here, we saw them bring a case of water and put it in a cooler that was like a fresh case of water. They just dumped it into the cooler, so it almost looked like they planned on being here for a long time. Of course, it is hot right now, and more investigators, more and more deputies have shown up since that point. So we do know that this has been a pretty big, like you said, Will, we know that it's evidence gathering, not necessarily looking for the remains, but looking for any evidence. I do not see that the shovel came out of a bin in that white 4x4 that you can see there just beyond the crime scene tape. So that car is still there. That was the first truck that I saw on scene here, and that has been here since the beginning. They've been getting supplies out of there. That's where the water was. That's where the shovel was. They have been putting some evidence bags back into tubs in that car, as well as taking photos on that camera that I don't know if you can see laying on that hatchback there, but or that trailer there, taking photos on that. So it seems as though it is maybe thinning out just a little bit, but there's also a large trailer parked in the driveway that I've seen investigators, deputies coming in and out of. That is still there. That main trailer is still there, truck right there. And then there's a couple of unmarked cars here now, as well as some uniformed deputies you can see are here. They showed up just about an hour and a half ago to an hour ago, so they were not out here the entire time. Also, this crime scene tape right here that's blocking off that part of the driveway just got put up about 30 or so minutes ago as well. So it's really just kind of expanded since we got here. In fact, when Sydney Hood was here earlier, there was nothing. There was no crime scene tape. People were able to just wander back there if they wanted to. Nobody was around and doing that when we were here earlier, but you absolutely could just walk back there. Now the crime scene tape is back up, investigators are back up, and people are surrounding this as we have been live now at this scene for about 2.5 hours. People know that this is happening. Investigators are on the scene. So to answer your question, well, it may be thinning out a little bit as to where it was at the peak, but this is about as many deputies, as many coroner's officers and investigators as were here when I first got here. And you can see just behind that tree there, a couple of people still coming in and out of that house, a couple investigators still checking inside of Javeayah Harris's home, which I was able to take a peek into that open door and could see some toys in there, could see some furniture. Nothing looked entirely out of the ordinary from inside of the home, but you could just see when they walk in and out of the door, the open door. So this is a ever-changing scene right now. We've seen some investigators coming in and out, deputies coming in and out, but it's been staying pretty stagnant as far as people here on the scene coming in and out of the woods and coming in and out of that house.
And Ethan, you've been on the scene for a while now, and some of that evidence, it looks like, I would presume it's evidence, had been carried away. One of the larger pieces of evidence was on a blue tarp. It looked like it was clothes, maybe shoes. Can you tell us where that went, what car that was put in, and what it was, and I guess what they did with that too?
Yeah, it did. It looked like clothing, maybe just some rags of some sort into some evidence bags. Also saw them they had a tarp on the ground and they put some items on top of it. It looked to me to be like furniture. It looked like kind of the leg of a table or a chair is what I could see with my eyes. But of course we're about 50 feet from that. But definitely, like we said, they're looking for evidence. In this case is what they've told us. Sources have told us they're looking for evidence, not necessarily remains at this house right now. But it looks like they've collected a lot of evidence here. We've also seen them with the yellow evidence markers, the numbered markers that you see on crime scenes. We've seen them carrying those back there as well. Seen them in the backyard just beyond that truck that you can see that's been parked there. Presumably, you know, that's not a law enforcement truck. That's been here the whole time. So presumably, perhaps Javeayah's parents' truck there. Just beyond that is their backyard that they've really been looking through, and they had a sifter out, they had a shovel out, they were sifting through things, collecting evidence, putting it into bags is what I was able to see since in the 2.5 hours that I've been here, as well as some larger items that they did place on tarps, wrap up, and walk away. So have not, they've also been taking pictures of everything as well as you'd expect from a crime scene. So really just gathering evidence in all sorts of ways, big and small, sifting through things in what looks like just piles of dirt and trash. I could see a couple crushed cans in the back as well. So just dirt and trash that they have been sifting through with almost looks like archaeological sifters, as well as gathering it all with shovels and, you know, seen deputies and investigators with latex gloves, with the shovels, with tools, cameras and evidence markers. It really just looks like some evidence, like I said, both big and small, has been collected for the last 2.5 hours.
And we also have Sydney Hood on the scene there. She just said that she saw 3 of them go into the house at this point. So the investigation is still ongoing, but there's 2 different things unfolding at this house of Javeayah Harris. It's not only the investigation and the investigators being there, but it's also the community response too, right? And Ethan, if you can still hear me, yes, point the camera towards all the people who showed up and who are out here supporting Javeayah and the rest of her family, and looking at what this investigation is and what's going on. If we could, there we go. And this is what's been incredible through this entire case, is the community support and everyone showing up to find out what happened. Everyone wanted to help too, but everyone is showing up in this neighborhood. And if you guys are not from Aiken County, South Carolina, or where this has happened, this is a neighborhood that's off of a main road in Aiken County, and it's tucked away in a very quiet and secluded neighborhood back here. There's a couple of vacant homes next door. I talked to some neighbors who were very friendly with me out there, who wanted the best for Javeayah and were very saddened to hear the news about all of this. And they are all showing up and showing support. So again, it's a quiet neighborhood that's just been completely uprooted by all of this. And you heard what the mother had to say on the 911 call too, saying some things about the neighborhood and some neighbors who are out there. But still, look how many people are showing up to support and putting balloons and stuffed animals down at the memorial here. So really 2 different stories unfolding at the home of Javeayah Harris that's now become a focal point of this investigation today, as investigators with the sheriff's office and the Aiken County Coroner's office assisting them today in new information that led them back to this house. We still don't know what led them here, what information they were told, but again, this was not roped off to begin with. Once the parents were arrested, everyone really cleared out and it was free access. I mean, I know you can trespass, as we lose Ethan's shot here. I know you can trespass onto property, but it was not roped off every day that I was out there.
Looks fine now.
Yeah, the shot's in and out. The service is a little spotty back there too. Ethan, we've got you here. Talk about some of the... No, you're all good. Talk about some of the people who have shown up to the memorial and what you've seen. I mean, that has grown substantially over the last few days and over really the last few hours too.
Yeah, it really has. You can see people, I'll have our cameraman show you just some of the people that have shown up here to our left. You can see a lot of people that are looking at that side of the house and giving parking. Our Sydney Hood was just leaving the scene here. She's been here for a while, as long as I've been here almost, and she said that there's hardly a place to park as you drive through this neighborhood. We haven't driven on the other side streets through around this neighborhood, but there's hardly a place to park. You can see it to the right as well, just dozens of cars lining the street as people have shown up. Some people have come to give balloons and stuffed animals and flowers. Some people have just come to see what is going on, as we've been streaming this for about 2.5 hours now. We were the first on the scene to find these investigators back at Javeayah Harris's house and going through the house and the woods. But it has been very solemn here. People have been placing these items because, we really talked about what do you do when a horrible tragedy like this hits your community, and so many people have been responding by just showing Javeayah that she was loved, by bringing stuffed animals, bringing balloons, bringing flowers. People don't know what to do in these kinds of situations, and these small acts of kindness show a whole lot about this community, how loved each person is in this community, and how a community can band together despite never even meeting Javeayah. At the vigil, Will, I know you were at on Sunday, you said that they asked who in the crowd knows Javeayah, and nobody raised their hand, but there were still hundreds of people there. So this is really a group of people who live in this community or live around this community. Like I said earlier, I talked to a man from Columbia and I talked to some people from Augusta. So, 30, 45 minutes on either side of Aiken here, people have driven in to pay respects, give toys, give gifts, and people are continuing to show up and do that. No matter which side of the street they're on here, it is lined with cars and people just trying to show their respects, trying to be together and see what is the latest update in this case that so many people have cared about. Actually got a video that you'll see at some point on News 12 in one of the newscasts of a family, 2 little kids, giving a really large teddy bear, like a 2-foot large teddy bear, and laying that down onto into the memorial that you can see behind me there. And then in the background, you can see investigators loading evidence onto the car. And that just kind of shows the duality that is here. So many people not showing up to see these deputies working or to see what is happening in the case per se, but to show their support for this little 4-year-old girl whose remains are still being searched for, to show support for each other, because so many people in this community obviously care about this case and want to be, as I can understand you're seeing that video now, that's what I was talking about, of those just children. It's hard for children to understand the gravity, but I've talked to so many families here who say that their kids absolutely know what's going on. I spoke with the woman who started this memorial, who laid down an elephant stuffed animal, a Minnie Mouse stuffed animal, and some fresh flowers, which you can't even see now because they were the first things here under this mailbox. She said that she was getting up to leave. She had decided that she just had to do something. We were talking about what do you do when something like this happens. She decided that she had to do something. So she was going to bring a Minnie Mouse stuffed animal and some flowers and just lay them down at the mailbox, because she said she doesn't know where Javeayah is resting, but she wanted to show her that she was loved. And she said her 3-year-old granddaughter asked her mom, so this woman's daughter, where are you going, Mom? And she said, we're going to go give some toys to a girl who's with Jesus now. And that 3-year-old girl said, hold on a second. She went upstairs, she got her favorite toy, which is an elephant stuffed animal, and came back and said, she needs this. And she took that elephant stuffed animal, and that was the first thing that was placed here in this memorial. So that's a touching story that will get you choked up about just the amount of people who care about this. 3-year-old children who can't truly understand what is going on, but seem to know enough that know that you have to give your favorite toys to a girl who's going to play with them in heaven, as she described it to me yesterday. So many people out here trying to do the same thing, just trying to gather, trying to give something and be a part of something in a way that they don't know how to help. This is how a lot of people have decided to help, is just to bring a toy and maybe give a hug to a stranger here that's come to this memorial for Javeayah Harris.
And community support is usually the thing that gets people through horrible things like we're seeing this with this case and all of it unfold. I mean, it is such an unbelievable story. It is unbelievably sad, and just some of the information that's come out, the way that it's come out too, has just been shocking to say the least. And we are all hoping that Javeayah can come home at some point and that they do recover her so we can get some answers and, like the FBI said, get some justice for her as well. And I want to touch a little bit on her parents as well and where things stand with all of this. Ethan, we appreciate your coverage out there. Stand by. We'll probably bring you back up here. We'll let you get a break and talk to some people and get some more video. But I want to touch on the parents just a little bit for those of you who may be joining us. Her parents are still behind bars. They were denied bond on Sunday. If you were following our live stream coverage then, both of them, again, still in the detention center tonight, denied bond for the homicide by child abuse charge. They were facing 20 years to life in prison. So the judge who did the bond hearings on Sunday did not have the authority to set bond, so he's essentially holding them until the proper judge can. They have to go to a circuit court judge in South Carolina because the charge of homicide by child abuse carries life in prison or death if they are convicted, and only a circuit court judge has the authority to set bond in cases like that. So in the next 30 days or so, they will go before another judge and see if they do qualify for bond at that point. They will both have their first appearance in September, about midway through September, so we'll keep you updated on all those court hearings as well. Again, both charged with homicide by child abuse. The mother charged with filing a false police report as well. We got the warrants in the 911 call yesterday that really blew the lid off this case and gave us a boatload of information as to what happened to Javeayah. Again, this is in Aiken County. She's still not been found at this point. We know that they were searching an area up in the upstate of South Carolina, in Great Falls, South Carolina. That could still be the case. We were not up there today. But again, the focus is on her family's home. We know that Javeayah had suffered an injury from physical abuse, and her parents did not seek medical attention to address that. And that's what caused the death of Javeayah. And we know that that was from a severe head injury too. And they obtained that information, according to the warrants, from the confession from the mother and father. And they said that that physical abuse happened between May 1st and June 15th. And what day is it? We are on July 7th here. So that was quite some time ago. It's unclear when Javeayah actually passed away. So I think that's why it's really important for them to find her and bring her home so she can have an autopsy. And that will give us some answers in all of this on when she died, potentially how she died. We know it was from a severe head injury, but still that autopsy will give us a better idea of what exactly happened. So again, they have not found her yet. That search is still ongoing. This search at the house is for evidence, not for remains. That's what sources tell us that are close to all of this. So we wanted to be really careful and respectful earlier during our newscast in this live stream to make sure we weren't showing you anything that was really sensitive and that would be harmful to anyone watching. We know that no one wants to see that, right? So we know that there were some clothes, maybe some rags that were in a blue tarp that were taken away from the scene, and investigators will go back and process that. We don't know why they were at this scene, what information led them here today. We're still trying to find that out. Of course, this is still an active and ongoing investigation, so information is very limited. We actually found out that they were out there because we already had a crew out there at the memorial that you're seeing here on your screen, and our reporter was there, and they just showed up and roped off the place, and that's when we got all these updates about what was going on. So we got pretty lucky for being out there and trying to get video of this memorial and hear from some of you in the community, and they just happened to show up. So it's been a huge response. You can see how many people have showed up to find out what's going on and to pay their respects for Javeayah out there. And off to the right there, I do want to mention something. I didn't see this earlier on our newscast because of the angles of our cameras, but there's actually a pickup truck to our right. When you look at this, to the right of the memorial there's another pickup truck with a giant white trailer too. I didn't notice that before, so that is it's heavy equipment to have in there. I don't know what they have in there exactly, but I didn't see that earlier. And again, we know investigators showed up and had a shovel that they were moving some stuff around in the back. They had a sifter back there that they were shoveling dirt onto and sifting, looking for some evidence. So a lot of you have asked if the parents have confessed. Why have they not found her yet? Just because they confessed does not mean that they disclosed the location of their daughter. They could have been going off of other information that they had, cell phone, credit card, any of that information. social media. So who knows what led them up to the upstate to look, and who knows what led them to the house back here today. But it does beg the question of, you know, they didn't have this roped off before today, and it's not been roped off for 3 days. And who knows who went onto the property. I know there's some people talking about that. So that was a big factor with the search too. If you remember, late last week, investigators and the sheriff told people in the public not to show up. They don't need help with the search because they want to make sure they had that clean scent for dogs, because they were looking for Javeayah at the time. And also they didn't want people to possibly mess up a crime scene. And that's important, because you look at this situation, what if someone came on the property and searched because the sheriff's office asked them to, and they messed up a crime scene that they were going to use later on in the investigation, like we're seeing here. So that was an important thing that the sheriff's office did early that is now helping them in their investigation to try to bring Javeayah Harris home, as they are still on scene. We are going on about 2.5 hours that they've actually been on scene here looking for any kind of clue as to what happened to Javeayah. Maybe it's evidence for the parents to have in court as well. It could be a number of things. As you see people continuing to put things at that memorial there. Do we have another shot up, Gary, of this at all, or no? Or is this the only shot we have? Okay. Well, I don't know. What do you think? Yeah, we could do that. Okay. Yeah, we'll bring Ethan back. Ethan, if you can hear me, we'll have you hop back in front. Okay. All right. All right, Ethan. You've been out there for the entire time. Just do a recap. I know that we're repeating ourselves, but people are hopping in and out of these streams. Just tell us from the moment you got there to where we are now. Just describe what you've seen and what you've heard.
Yeah, I came out here just about 5 o'clock or so, just a little bit before, to try to see, just get some updated pictures, videos of the memorial, see some people who are coming out of work, because we were out here yesterday at the memorial as well, and people really start showing up after work to leave some toys, stuffed animals, flowers, balloons, anything for this memorial that you can see behind me for 4-year-old Javeayah Harris. And I pulled up here and noticed the crime scene tape, saw some investigators out who we did not know what agency they worked for at the time because all of their cars were unmarked. Saw them putting on bug spray and walking off into the woods, and that's when we went live to you at News 12 at 5 o'clock, and have been live ever since on through broadcast and now on digital where you're watching right now. But saw a handful of investigators there, more showing up as I started to, stayed here. Really saw about a dozen to 2 dozen, maybe at its peak, investigators between the Aiken County Sheriff's Office, the Aiken County Coroner's Office, just across departments. Those are the 2 that we have confirmed that were out here today. But they showed up, started carrying, putting bug spray on, walking out into the woods, carrying evidence bags in and out of the house, going in and out of the house with rubber gloves on, taking photos. We saw some marked cars pull up, and some sheriff's deputies have been here ever since. The crime scene taped off just a little bit more of the driveway, because previously that crime scene tape line right there in front of the driveway was not there, and it was really just a little bit of crime scene tape off to the left side. So this crime scene has really continued to grow. Obviously, they have known that this is the home of Javeayah Harris and her parents for ever since it happened. This is where the 911 call came from that night that Javeayah's mother called in and reported her missing, which we now know was false, and that she had been deceased for more than a month or around that time. But investigators decided to come back out here, and your Sydney Hood, who was live earlier in the evening newscasts, also was here all day and did not see anybody. There was not a whole lot of people coming to give things to the memorial, and there was also there was no investigators, no crime scene tape up at all. So you could really walk anywhere around the house. So we weren't doing that, and we didn't see anybody doing that, but you absolutely could, because none of this was blocked off. There was not a deputy or anything in sight. And so ever since then, we have seen just this grow. In just a couple hours from that point, we came back, saw the investigators here, and it has just continued to grow as more and more people as well have come to pay their respects for Javeayah, give stuffed animals, give balloons, give anything, and kind of just be together here. So you can see somebody doing that right now, putting a stuffed animal down there by the memorial.
Thank you, Ethan. It's just been incredible to see the community support out here as you see more and more people just supporting Javeayah with that memorial. And it's just, there's not many words to describe what this has meant to the community and what people have been through hearing this story and going through this. So we appreciate everyone sticking with us through this. We're trying to keep everyone as updated as we can. As soon as we heard this was happening, I mean, you guys got the information, and that's going to be the theme throughout this investigation. We will keep you guys as up to date as we can. As soon as we hear it, you guys will know about it. As soon as it's confirmed, you guys will know about it. So be sure to stick with us. We are on air. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube, TikTok. You can find us everywhere, and we'll keep you guys posted. We'll roll with this for just a little bit longer, too, as people are still showing up and as investigators are still there on scene. All right, guys, we are actually going to wrap up our stream here. We have been live for over 2 hours at this point, keeping you guys updated here. Our reporter, Ethan Hunter, there on scene is going to go talk to some people. He has to get ready for the 10 to 11 tonight, but you guys can stay completely up to date on what's happening live out on the scene. You see it there on your screen as investigators are still at the home of Javeayah Harris tonight. We broke that live at 5 on our newscast. So we're going to wrap things up. You guys can actually go onto our app, WRDW.com. Again, WRDW.com. And we have a little tile on there that says, "Where is Javeayah?" That's an entire splash page with our team's coverage that has been going on since day one. For the past 7 days, we have not stopped until this investigation is over. So again, that's an entire splash page for you to go check out all of our team's coverage over the last 7 days or so. And also, we will have live updates at 10 and 11 o'clock. If you're not from our area and you can't get it on cable or Roku or Fire TV or anything like that, you can actually head to our website, WRDW.com, go to the very top, and you can click Watch Live, and you can watch our newscast online on your phone, on your tablet, live, and you can get all of these updates for you there. So that's a good way to watch us. We are also all on Facebook too, not only our station, but Will Rio, WRDW is my Facebook. We have Meredith Anderson out there. We have Nick Proto, and then all of our reporters, Sydney Hood, who's been on the scene for the last 7 days. We are all on Facebook, so give us all a follow too. We have the most accurate and up-to-date information, as well as our Facebook page too. So we're going to end this stream. We'll have much more coming up at 10 and 11 o'clock. Thank you all for watching.